So we're talking about mental health issues, and can you describe what happened when you felt that something is not right?
I get to experience was negative thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
It came to a point where it reached the stage of self-neglect.
How long did all these symptoms last?
6 to 8 months. I didn't know that that was what depression is. She made me realize that, you know what, this is not normal.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you take us through that process? How you found out someone to help you?
So I decided to go and seek help, and it's free for students. So they are professional psychologists. But that first step I took, that was not easy. Every step that I make, my body felt so heavy.
What about triggers?
Depression would usually start out with what you call situational depression.
Okay.
That would evolve into chemical depression if you did not seek help sooner. The moment when I struggled academically for the first time in my life,
Right.
I did not know how to handle.
So, having gone through all this experience at such a young age, what was your greatest fear?
My greatest fear at that time is, I think, to bring shame to my own family. Not so much about me, but my own family. And also to bring disappointment to my own family.
Right.
Because my depression was so bad that it got to the point where I was suicidal. Yes. I think I was suicidal for about 2 years. I remember every night, because I live close to the train station, walking distance. And I remember every night before I go to bed, I would imagine what I would do to prepare myself to actually commit the act. I have already planned to tidy up my room, because I was living in a student accommodation, right? So I only had my room where I keep all my things. I would tidy up my room. I would make sure that my things are in order, so that if one day I am ready to commit the act, I'm preparing myself to commit the act at this point. If I'm ready to commit the act and my body has been found, at least my family do not have to deal with having to pack my things. My things are already in order. They just have to bring a few suitcases home, and that's it. Maybe 2 to 3 suitcases are already there. So people who are having depression and suicidal thoughts, they have put so much thought into this. So much thought. But the one thing that is really stopping me from doing this are 2 things. I imagine my own family crying. They probably wouldn't be able to forgive themselves. I also imagine the day when God resurrected me and asked, why are you doing this? I gave you life. I cannot bring myself to do it, although I have planned it all out. I have also planned on reducing the damage. Instead of jumping off the tracks, there's a river nearby as well. Very big river, very, very big river. I could just jump off the bridge, because that way it's cleaner than having to jump off the tracks. So much thought has been put into this.
Right. But those were the 2 things that really stop you.
Yes.
Your family, the love that you have for your family, and thinking how they will react. And number 2 is God.
Yes.
So God is really truly in the picture during this time that you were going through all of this. How important was that, to have faith in God?
Very, very important. Because first you have to recognize, I have to recognize that God gifted me with a very supportive family. They just didn't know what I was going through. I didn't want to share my depression with them. I never tried to confide in them, because I did not want to disappoint them. I do not want to bring sadness to my family. I just want to go through it alone. And I think at some point or the other, that made me stronger, because I realized that, you know what, I'm going to go through this without my family, without my friends and my family. I'm going to go through this alone. Yes.
I know this is a very difficult moment for you. Nobody wants to go through again what you have gone through in a narrative like this. Yet here you are, and openly sharing your story. What triggered you to share? What is your reason why you accepted this invitation to share?
I think it's because one of the reasons that I was in this depression, besides my academic failure, was the pressure from society. society has somewhat give you a standard on how you should live your life,
Right.
especially when from your local community where you
Yeah.
come from. There is a certain standard that you have to live your life, a certain image that you have to carry, right? And the moment you fail to bring that image, the moment you fail to live up to that standard, society will talk. So my fear is that I will bring shame to my family. Not so much about me, because I was away from home, but I was thinking,
Right.
what about my family there? So in that process, I was very afraid to seek help. But I was lucky because I was away from home. I could seek help in silence. People back home did not know what was going on. But for those who are at home and still living in that society while going through depression, probably their journey is harder than mine.
Right.
Yes.
The stigma is higher.
The stigma is higher. And for them to even seek help, for them to even probably drive themselves or walk themselves to the mental health clinic, it's going to be very hard. They'll probably try to cover their face. They will avoid friends. They will avoid family. And I want to change that stigma. I have been judged before when I tried to approach people within the church who I thought I could trust. And they would say, you've not prayed enough. Your journey with God, you're not doing the right thing. That's why you got that. That's why you're experiencing this. There's something in your life that you did wrong. So I have also received such remarks from people within the church community. And I cannot blame them. They are simply humans.
Yes.
And they have no education about mental health. But if I were to compare someone who is going through mental health and illness and someone who's going through physical health illness, you would never say to someone with a
Exactly,
fever,
with the diabetes.
yes, with the diabetes, there's something wrong that you did with God. That's why you're going through this.
Exactly.
You did not pray enough. That's why you got high blood pressure. Yeah, so why we can't change that? I know a lot of people would say, it's all in your mind, throw it out, go out, mix around with people.
Right.
Very easy, but until you feel how heavy your body is, when you try to make that first walk to get out of the house, how heavy it is to try to go to church, even to face people, and people ask, how are you? Part of you just wants to say, no, I'm not okay, but no, you just have to put out a brave front and say,
Right.
yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
I know.
Happy Sabbath.
I totally know what you mean.
Yes, with a smile. But that's why people who are genuinely going through depression, they really know how to put up a front. You cannot tell who is actually going through depression until you yourself experience it. You can probably sometimes read people. But even then, I cannot read anyone. There are many people out there who are going through it without even me knowing, although I've seen them, although I've met them or spoke to them. We have really learned to master the craft of hiding our true selves because of that. It is simply a coping mechanism. We want to seek help, but at the same time, we're afraid that it will be sabotaged by the community, by the people around us, sometimes even by our loved ones, simply because they're not educated enough about mental health. Because mental health is so abstract, it cannot be seen.
Correct,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
So it's very easy to judge when you
Yes.
do not see it. Yes.
Wow.
So I really hope that people can understand better about mental health, because it will be easy for us to seek support. It will be easy for us to seek professional help. Yes.
Wow, powerful words, Sha. I mean, that's why we are here trying to debunk all those stigma and myth. You have shown how it was and how you are now, and you are actually talking to so many of us, adults who have not gone through what you have gone through. Part of the things that people like you who have had an experience like that is us, actually, the community at large. How we stigmatize, we judge, we point fingers, and we give meaning to what you are going through, that you are not good enough, you are not faithful enough, and things like that. It's unbelievable. I don't know how many young people are going through or have gone through what you have experienced. So, Sha, you talk about your fears in the past. What about presently? Do you have any fears?
Yes, I do. I think my fear has evolved from bringing shame to my own family and keeping up a certain image that I used to. So that fear is gone. But my fear has evolved into me afraid that I would go back to that same hole that I was in, because it's
Right.
really hard to pick myself up from that hole.
Right.
So every time when I see that there is a certain stressor in my life or a situation where I think it may trigger my depression, I quickly withdraw myself from that.
Right.
It's just a way for me to cope with, for me to preserve myself. It's a way of self-preservation. Some people may call it avoidance syndrome. I don't think it's avoidance
I
syndrome.
don't think so.
personally.
Yeah.
Yes. If you think that it's gonna bring you back to where you were,
Yeah.
then withdraw yourself.
Correct.
There is always a tendency to go back,
Correct.
because once you have experienced it, the scar is still there.
Yes. Yes.
So you have to be very wise. Once you have recovered, you have to be very wise in recognizing what are the certain triggers in life.
Yeah. It's actually self-awareness. I think your self-awareness on this thing has really doubled or tripled. And you know how to pull back. Like, oh, I'm not going to go through that again. It's just like people who are recovering addicts or recovering from smoking. After they have stopped doing that for many years, they will avoid situations that will bring them back to that kind of addiction. So it's the same thing with your circumstance. So I think it's very good. So looking back now and looking at the young people now, for example, what words or advice or nuggets of hope can you offer to them, having been a person who have undergone such experience at such a young age?
I would say when you start to feel suspicious of yourself, you think that it may be depression. Try to learn more about it, because as you are more educated about it, you know what to do. But while you're learning more about it, seek medical help as soon as you can. If it's just situational depression, it's only short term. It's only there to stay for a little while. It's just a touch and go process. It will go. Don't sweep it under the rug. Don't leave it unaddressed simply because you're ashamed to admit with yourself, until it evolves into chemical depression, because that is harder to treat. It will be very painful to face. It will be very hard for you. Yes.
Right.
So I would say there is hope to live. You are not alone in this. You are really not alone in this. God is there when I am at my lowest point. I remember this is how my prayer went. I said, "Dear Lord, I'm going through this right now. This is what I'm feeling." Pour all your feelings to God. Like
Name
He
one
is
by
your
one.
friend. Yes.
Name all the negative emotions
Yes.
you're feeling.
Yes. Don't see God as someone high up above that you have to curtsy and say, "Your Majesty." No, that is not the God we know. The God that I know when I went through this is He's a friend that sits next to me.
Right.
He's a friend that comes and sleeps next to me. I told Him, "Dear God, can you come just sit here, please, with me? Just put your hands around me." That is what I told God. I even said, "Okay, God, I'm going to sleep now. Can you just lie next to me?" I asked Him to lie next to me and sleep next to me. I say, "Here's your share of the blanket. Have this blanket." I treat God like my friend. Like He is really there.
Yes.
It really helped me. So we are not alone in this. There is God there, right there. And talk to Him like He is your friend. Yeah. You can tell Him to sit next to you as you are finishing up your assignment. That is what I told God. God, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to write my essay. Can you just sit here next to me? I talked to Him like a friend. Yeah.
Wow. So, Sha, aside from all those things that you have said for our young people, what other things you wish that they were present to you during that time and really can help young people who are going through the same thing that you had?
I think it's very understandable that not many of us understand fully what depression is. Because we are brought up in a society, especially in Asian society, where we don't talk about these things.
Right.
Yeah. So it's okay if you don't understand. It's okay. But when you see someone who is struggling with depression,
Mm-hmm.
listen to them, be their ears, do not judge.
Mm-hmm.
Do not hijack that sharing conversation you have with them. The moment they open up, just listen. Do not hijack that conversation. Be there for them, that's all they need. And don't be very quick to give out solution or labels. Because as we are not a professional in the mental health field,
Correct.
we may not fully understand what it is about. So don't be so quick to label. Don't be so quick to give advice as well. But tell them, just be there, support, pray for them, and tell them, help them to find medical help. In fact, you can, with a
Connect
quick,
them to
Yes.
the experts.
Correct, connect them, because for them it can be really hard for them to find someone. If you can offer a drive to the clinic for them, do that. If you can sit with them outside the clinic while they are in with a doctor, be that.
Wow.
Yes.
Simple things, yeah?
Simple things,
No,
yeah.
no need to give advice.
Yes.
Just sit with me, you
Yes.
know. Yeah, I think we can do that as a community, as family. You know, sometimes our biggest problems are our family members with so much expectations on us and not even realizing what we are going through. But those simple things, simple acts of kindness, I think that's the one that we can extend to young people who are suffering this kind of challenge in their lives. Is there anything else you want to add to your sharing?
To the young people, I just want to let them know that your life is very precious. You have a whole life ahead of you. You have the energy. You have the time. I'm telling you, there is so much in life you can do. So don't waste that life. You have been a blessing to your family, to your loved ones, to your friends around you. Think about them. Think about how their life would be when you are not there. I know at that point when you are going through depression, it's so easy. Oh, their life would be better without me. I'm just a burden in their life because I have been there. You just want to get rid of yourself from that equation. You think they'll be happier. But no, you have so much life ahead of you.
And from the bottom of my heart, Sha, I'm so happy that you are here and you're sharing this experience with our viewers, with our listeners. I mean, we found a gem in you. Thank God for that, because I'm sure many people will really appreciate this conversation. This is really coming from your heart, and you have poured out your heart to us. And I can see that, wow, you know, after all the things that has gone through your life, all those experiences has taught you to become who you are right now. And unbelievable. It's really the grace of God. Praise God. So thank you so much. And there you have it, our viewers, our listeners to our podcast. We hope to see you next time in our next episode. We will have an expert to talk more about depression, anxiety disorder, addictions, and other issues on mental health. Thank you very much for being with us.